So a few days ago, the Oscar nominees were announced, and I know I'm very late to this, but I was busy, and yesterday was the IMAX reissue of Dune, so there was no chance I was missing that. So I'm just gonna do a quick video picking and predicting what I think is gonna win and what I want to win. It's been a really strong year for movies, so I think this is a really strong lineup. So I just think that'd be pretty fun to discuss. So, okay, so jumping right into it, the first thing we got is Best Picture. We have American Fiction, Anatomy of a Fall, Barbie, The Holdovers, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, Past Lives, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. So the movies here that I still haven't seen are Maestro and The Zone of Interest, but The Zone of Interest, which is a movie that I've been very excited for, I finally have tickets for, and I watch it next week, so I'm really excited. American Fiction was also a movie that I didn't discuss in my top 20 because I hadn't seen it yet, but I have now seen it, and I think it's a solid movie. I enjoyed it a decent amount. But yeah, besides Maestro, I think all these nominees are worthwhile. Obviously, my favorite movie of the year was Poor Things, but I'm positive that whatever category Oppenheimer's nominated in, it's just going to absolutely sweep. So I'm fairly certain that Oppenheimer is going to win it all. And I mean, I'm not even mad at that. That's fair. To be honest, I think all these nominees are worthwhile in some capacity. So I don't really think that there's a pick that I would be upset by. Maybe American Fiction. It's probably my least favorite from the bunch. The next category that we have is Bradley Cooper, Maestro, Coleman Domingo, Rustin, Paul Giamatti, The Holdovers, Cillian Murphy, Oppenheimer, and Jeffrey Wright, American Fiction. So again, I haven't seen Maestro and I haven't seen Rustin, but I have seen The Holdovers, Oppenheimer, and American Fiction. My favorite performance from this bunch is Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. I know it's kind of crazy to pick him over Oppenheimer since that is kind of more of a comedy, but I just think that performance is so heartfelt and creates like a real connection with the audience that I just really enjoyed. Again, I think Cillian Murphy is going to win it because Oppenheimer is so grand in scale and because of its themes and like scope of the story is just, I think it's just very up the Academy's alley, and for good reason. I mean, it is a really solid movie and a really solid performance. Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction is also pretty good. I enjoyed his performance. I didn't really think it was like Oscar worthy, but sure, it's here, fine. Personally, I would have really liked to see Zac Efron for the Iron Claw in this category. Also, the main actor from Passages, I forgot his name, but I think both of them would have been really good in this category. Best Actress, we have Annette Bening for Nyad, Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon, Sandra Holler for Anatomy of a Fall, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things. I haven't seen Maestro and I haven't seen Nyad, but Killers of the Flower Moon, Anatomy of a Fall, and Poor Things, those are all like really solid Best Actress nominees. I would be completely fine with any of those three women winning, but Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon is my choice for who's going to win and who I want to win because that performance was monumental and it's the heart of Killers of the Flower Moon. It's what gives it its soul, and she was just so good in that movie. I really hope that she wins, and I think she's going to, so good. For Best Supporting Actor, we have Sterling K. Brown, Robert De Niro, Robert Downey Jr., Ryan Gosling, and Mark Ruffalo. Again, these are all very solid nominees. I have seen all of these movies, and I do think all these performances are really good. Personally, though, if I were to pick like the biggest snub overall in terms of acting, I would say it's Charles Melton for May December. He 100% deserved a nomination, and it sucks that he was left out. May December really isn't in any of this, but I'm not really complaining. I think all these nominees are solid. Some people aren't really excited about some of the Barbie nominations, like Ryan Gosling. They think his performance isn't that serious, which I disagree. I think Ryan Gosling is one of the best parts of that movie, and even though it's like comedic and funny, I don't think that like should exclude him from like an Oscar nomination because that performance was just like very charismatic and energetic, and one of the big things that pull you into the movie. Who I'd like to see win, Mark Ruffalo would definitely be very cool. I really liked his performance. I think I liked it the best out of all of these, but again, Oppenheimer, Robert Downey Jr., I just feel like that's a really safe bet. And plus, he's been sweeping in the awards that he's been nominated in, so makes sense. Best Supporting Actress, we have Emily Blunt, Daniel Brooks, America Ferrera, Jodie Foster and Divine Joy Randolph. Haven't seen The Color Purple and I haven't seen Nyad, but Oppenheimer, Barbie, The Holdovers. This is this is fine. Again, it would have been nice to see some May December nominations like Natalie Portman or Julianne Moore, but fine. So from this bunch, I think my favorite would be Divine Joy for The Holdovers, and I think Emily Blunt also has a decently strong chance, so I don't really know who's gonna win. I would like for Divine Joy to win it, but Emily Blunt also has a really strong possibility because, you know, Oppenheimer. Best Director, we have Jonathan Glazer, Yorgos Lanthimos, Christopher Nolan, Martin Scorsese, and Justine Triet. Again, I haven't seen The Zone of Interest, but I have seen the other four, and I think this is just a really solid category. I think this is probably the toughest one to predict. I could live with any one of them winning. I think all these are definitely worthy and deserving. I guess Christopher Nolan has been a long time coming though. Oppenheimer is huge. It's gonna sweep. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up the win. Personally though, I don't know who I'd want to win. It's hard. I'm kind of torn between Martin Scorsese and Yorgos Lanthimos, mostly because Poor Things was my favorite movie of the year, and I think the way it looks and the way everything is shot and, you know, choreographed and stuff, I just really like eat that shit up. But also Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, that's a long movie. That's a lot of dedication, and just the set pieces for all that. I think Martin Scorsese is obviously one of the greatest directors that has ever lived. And so Killers of the Flower Moon might be like one of his strongest movies in some time. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn between those two, but honestly, for predicting, I'm going to say Christopher Nolan again. So here we have the nominees for International Feature Film, and I have not seen any of these movies. And it's not that I don't want to, I really do, but I live in the Midwest, and it is really, really hard to see a lot of these movies. These are the nominees. I don't know who's going to win, but I just wanted to bring that up because it seems like a good category. I have heard of all these movies, so don't want people to think that I'm just, you know, skipping it just because. For animated feature film, I have only seen Spider-Man and the Boy and the Heron, which, I mean, despite not watching all of them, I don't want to be like very biased, but I think the Boy and the Heron should win almost every category that it's nominated in. I think this might be the only one, but Boy and the Heron all the way. For adapted screenplay, we have American Fiction, Barbie, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and The Zone of Interest. I like all these screenplays, but I think Oppenheimer should win it all. I am predicting that, and it is my pick. Despite my favorite movie being Poor Things, I think the script for Oppenheimer is just a little stronger, I guess, in terms of like, you know, adapting something. And so, I mean, that's an impressive movie, to be honest. So I think it does deserve the screenplay win. For original screenplay, we have Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Maestro, May December. Didn't know that. And Past Lives. Okay, so I'm pretty torn between Anatomy of a Fall and May December. Anatomy of a Fall is a really, really impressive screenplay, and I mean, the movie just kind of shows. You can get a glimpse of like how it's written just through like watching the movie. I'm gonna say Anatomy of a Fall. So for visual effects, we have The Creator, Godzilla -1, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning, and Napoleon. This is a fine category. Don't really have much to say about it. I think Godzilla -1 should win, and I think is going to win. I hope so. Okay, so for original score, we have American Fiction, Indiana Jones, and the Dial of Destiny, Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. This category is a little weird because, I mean, you could have definitely picked better music. Killers of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, those all make sense. As much as I liked American Fiction, I don't really remember the score all that much. And Indiana Jones, I mean, that's literally just the Indiana Jones theme. Aside from that, I really, really couldn't tell you a single song that I remember from that movie. Really awkward category, but I think Oppenheimer should win and will win. That score's great. Obviously, Can You Hear the Music? What more do you gotta say? For original song, we have It Never Went Away, I'm Just Ken, What Was I Made For, The Fire Inside, and the song from Killers of the Flower Moon. I haven't seen Flaming Hot, and I haven't seen American Symphony, but I'll tell you what, Peaches from Mario movie was definitely snubbed. I As silly as that song is, I think it deserved a nomination. I'm being so dead ass. Also, the Alien song from Asteroid City. I mean, I that was one of the clips that I put in my top 20 video because I think that song is so fun and cute and just addictive. And I can't believe they didn't nominate that for original song. I mean, that song is just so good. Who I think is going to win, I'm just gonna say I'm just Ken from Barbie. Cinematography, this is an interesting lineup. We have El Conde, Kills Little Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. El Conde, I wasn't really expecting to see any nominees because, to be honest, I kind of forgot about it too, but that movie is like a little bit of like a hidden gem. I mean, I know it's directed by Pablo Larraín, but I just feel like it didn't get enough traction as like Spencer or Jackie did. So I'm really glad to see it nominated here. And I mean, for cinematography, that's a really solid choice. It has beautiful, beautiful visuals. All these movies seem strong. Obviously, I haven't seen Maestro, who I think should win. I'm fine with just about any four of them. I mean, it's nice to see El Conde nominated, but I don't think it's gonna win. Kills of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, Poor Things. I think I'm predicting and I'm hoping that Killers of the Flower Moon is going to win. So, putting that out there. Costume design, we have Barbie, Kills of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Again, I'm pretty torn between Kills of the Flower Moon and Poor Things. All of Emma Stone's dresses in Poor Things just are really amazing, and she looks great, and they're all like weird and like renaissance-y. Kills of the Flower Moon also has some really, really strong costumes, and for like 4 hours that movie goes on, there are a lot of different costumes and they all look amazing. So I'm personally torn between both of those. Who I think is going to win, maybe Kills of the Flower Moon, maybe Barbie. I'm just gonna say Poor Things, and hopefully I'm right about that. Film editing, we have Anatomy of a Fall, The Holdovers, Kills of the Flower Moon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Who I think is going to win and who I want to win is definitely Kills of the Flower Moon. Thelma Shoemaker is Martin Scorsese's longtime film editor, and she's just proven to be so good time and time again. I mean, Kills of the Flower Moon is just cut so perfectly, I think. Anatomy of a Fall also, I think, deserves the win, but Kills of the Flower Moon, I don't know, man. It's just, it's a different beast. I love Thelma Shoemaker's editing in that movie, and I really hope it wins. Wouldn't be mad if Anatomy of a Fall wins, but I'm predicting and hoping for Kills of the Flower Moon. Sound design, we have The Creator, Maestro, Mission Impossible, Oppenheimer, and Zone of Interest. I think Oppenheimer is going to win, and it's well deserved for Oppenheimer. The sound design in that movie is really good, especially obviously the Trinity test and all those scenes definitely blew my socks off, especially if you got to watch it in 70mm. Production design, we have Barbie, Kills of the Flower Moon, Napoleon, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. Again, I'm gonna hold out for Poor Things. The production design in that movie is just so like mouth-watering. It's so good. Everything is just really amazing to look at. But it is like a little bit, silly. It's not as like grand in scope as some of these others are. So Kills of the Flower Moon, I can see winning, as well as Oppenheimer and Barbie. To be honest, Barbie has a really great production design. It is kind of overshadowed by like these like big Goliath movies, but Barbie has solid production design. If Barbie is going to win any award, I think it's got a really good shot at production design. So maybe Barbie. Makeup and hairstyling, we have Golda. Never heard of that. Maestro, Oppenheimer, Poor Things, and Society of Snow. I'm just gonna say Poor Things, man. Poor Things has some great makeup and hairstyling. I mean, Willem Dafoe is one of my favorite character designs in like a few years, and he's got like these really cool like face prosthetics. Just for that, I'm holding out for Poor Things just because of Willem Dafoe. I'm hoping Poor Things to win. Who I think is going to win, I mean, I really couldn't tell you. I haven't seen Golda, I haven't seen Society of Snow, and I haven't seen Maestro, but I know like all those have like a lot to do with like the makeup, especially Maestro with Bradley Cooper turning old. Maybe they'll do that because I seem the Academy really likes, like the face shit. Was it last year that the whale won for makeup and hairstyling? I mean, kind of ridiculous, but it just seems like they really like the character aging, the character, like weight and shit. And so I think Maestro has a solid chance and is probably going to win, to be real with you. But that is the full Oscar lineup, and those were my predictions. Just kind of did this video for fun because, like I said, it's a really strong year for films, so I think this Oscars lineup is pretty interesting, and I mean, I'm eager to see this one. Of course, I'd love to know what you think, what your predictions are. Personally, I'm very bad at predicting, to be honest, so I'm sure like 90% of what I said, I'm just gonna get incorrect. I mean, like I said, Oppenheimer seems like a strong contender to just like win every category that it's nominated in, so I think Oppenheimer is just like a safe bet for all these categories. Also, if you notice that I didn't talk about some categories like the short films, it's not because I wanted to, but just because I haven't seen any of those movies. So, no shade to the short films, they're just something that I feel like can go under the radar for most of the times, and so yeah, I just didn't really get a chance to see any of them. But that's it for this video. I just wanted to make a quick Oscar predictions. I do have more ideas in the pipeline, so stay tuned if you want to see those. And that's it. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.